Okay, there we go. Okay. It's not seeming to stream the actual thing. That I'm glad we're figuring that out. Here. Do. There we go. Okay. There we go. Do. Okay, history. I gotta remember what we were doing. Change father's mind, so many things, but he would never listen. And I felt so powerless, I didn't even know what to do, so I did nothing. I'm just as bad as he was. No wanting to do something about it, that's the first step. For me, it was the only step. Well, in that case, it was the only step I ever made. I never had a chance to do more. Cauldron gives me what might be considered a soft look, if anything about him was soft at all. When I graduated from my training in the Guard, I was top of my squadron. I could have picked any posting I wanted, but I chose to be stationed in the worst sector of the Bronzer district. Do you know why? I shake my head from what Damien had insinuated in the bar. I wasn't aware Cauldron had a choice as to where he was stationed. Because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted the people to know that there was still someone who gave a shit about them, who would fight for them. I hid my frown, hesitant before asking the question that poised on my lips, but it's one that seems important. Guess that's where you were from? His blue eyes go dark, but eventually he nods, looking away and letting out a short, sharp breath. My moms gave me everything I ever wanted, but my birth parents, I couldn't stop myself from wondering if it was their circumstances that prevented them from keeping me. He was quiet for a moment, but then he says with a shrug, or maybe they just didn't want me. Who knows? I'm sure they did. His glance sidelongs at me, putting the wall back in place piece by piece before he can finish rebuilding it completely. I ask another question. Why were you exiled? Cauldron's throat bobs, his face darkening as he closes himself off more and more. I don't want to talk about that. That's fair. Fair enough. I won't let him shut me out again. Not this time. Cauldron, please tell me. He stops to study me, as if deciding how much he wants me to know. I see the moment he gives in, and a breath of air leaves and his shoulders slump in defeat. I wasn't exiled intentionally. I was awaiting my execution. You what? Accused of a murder of Lord Andronis, the king's uncle and head of the crown council. Just a moment. My eyes widen on the man in front of me, hardly believing what I'm hearing. I remember Lord Androna's death. I remember attending his funeral with the rest of my family and how my father had taken the loss particularly hard. They said his murderer was caught and being brought to justice back then. I didn't care to know more. I never liked my father's uncle. He was mean and cruel and was hated by the people almost as much as the king himself. But Cauldron, it can't be true. You murdered him? Oh my gosh. He gives me a look offended that I have to even ask the question, and immediately I felt guilty for doing so. No, it was a setup. He doesn't reply for a while, pacing instead toward the panel on the far wall and scanning the controls. When he does speak, his voice is low, barely audible above the beeps and whirs of the bridge. I cared about those people in Bronze District, but I was the only one when I started pushing for change. Others saw that as a problem. I was betrayed by those closest to me and used as a pawn in just Sovek's scheme to get rid of the biggest opposition to his claim and infiltrate the crown council from the inside. Infiltrate, that was the word, infiltrate. You knew Zovek? No, not until Aya busted me out of that prison and told me who was really behind everything I was accused of. Couldn't you have told someone? Cleared your name? Zovek already had the council in the palm of his hand. Who would have believed me? I swallow hard, knowing what he says makes sense, but hating the injustice of it anyways. I had a lot of time to think while I was waiting for my death, a lot of time to wonder where things all went wrong. And what conclusion did you come to? That I trusted the wrong people, and that I wouldn't make the same mistake again. Suddenly, the captain's distress makes a lot of sense to me. He was hurt, plain and simple, and all he's trying to do is make sure it doesn't happen again. Who betrayed you? I think we've spoken about it enough. I nod. He had already told me so much more than I ever thought he would. What about the bounty, then? What's the deal there? It's simple, really. When Vovek found out I escaped in some boy crew, he put out the hit on a lot of us. His followers see him as their champion, the protagonist in their little stories, banishing the evil king and taking the throne as his own. But the people, the ones who have suffered long and hard enough, see him for what he truly is, a tyrant, pushing those on the lowest ring down further still and calling it salvation. It takes only a spark to start the flame of revolution, and Zovek, well knows that's why he wants us gone. So you'll fight him. I'll do whatever I can to pull him from the throne. when the time comes. When the time comes, we have to do something, but we're only only 6 against an entire army. 7. Would you fight with us, Prince? Not much of a fighter. I don't know. Well, I like you, sir, but am I willing to die for you? You did kind of defend me, saying that he wouldn't, turn me in, but like, am I willing to just die for? I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm not much of a fighter, honestly. I'm afraid I haven't had any real training. I'm not sure how much help I'll be when it comes down to the wire. As long as you're with us, that's all that matters. If I recall correctly, you secured your place on the crew. You secured your place on the crew. It's yours for as long as you want it. I think of the second in command who might have a different view on the matter. Damien is under my command as long as he's on this ship. I can't make excuses for his behavior. The things he's had to do to survive are brutal, and he's become ruthless because of it. It doesn't surprise me that was his first instinct. I'm not about to make Zovek's job any easier for him, and I know the crew would agree with me on that, all of them. I don't say it out loud, but I hope he's right. A sound goes off on the device around his wrist, and with a moment of his arm, he brings up a hollow screen and scans the words in front of him. Ryan is waiting for you in the infirmary. She wants to do a checkup. I'm okay. She doesn't have to worry. He gives me a look, and I know at once that I'm fighting a losing battle. She will anyway. Best to put her mind at ease, or she'll be on both our backs about it. I start to leave, but before I make it much further, he calls out to me one last time. Tomorrow we'll be deciding our next move. You will have a say in the decision if you want it. I give a nod, knowing my status as Prince of Glorious will be a contributing factor to whatever comes next. Honestly, if I was in the position, I wouldn't have told them I was a prince in the first place. I'd be like, nah, they wouldn't. Nah, they wouldn't believe me. With a last goodbye, I leave the captain on the bridge and head towards the infirmary before both incur the wrath of Talarian medics. The doors of the infirmary hiss as they open and admit me to the room, and Ryan's head snaps up from where she's seated in front of her terminal. She gives me a soft smile, standing to greet me. I was beginning to think Cauldron ignored my message. Does he do that a lot? She chuckles, her blue lips widening to reveal most of her teeth. More than you'd think. I pace further into the room, glancing over the various plants and specimens that cover the cabinets and desks. He said you wanted to do a checkup? I do. Well, I really just wanted to make sure you were all right. She gestures for me to take a seat on the familiar medic bed, and once again, the plastic crinkles under me as I sit. It smells different in here again. This time, like jasmine buds and nightfall. I'm sure Ryan's mister is to thank for all the pleasant scent, and I inhale deeply, letting it calm me. So now that your memories have started returning, how much do you remember? Bits and pieces. They seem to be coming back easier now, but some are still fuzzy. Rhinus takes her medical wand and lights up the tip, checking my eyes first and then my ears before she takes my temperature. Any pain? I have a headache, but that's it. She sits down on her wand and goes over to a large cabinet. After shuffling around in it a little, she comes back with a small container. Take a couple of these, they'll give you some relief. You can take them every 4 to 6 hours if the pain persists. She fills a glass with water and hands it to me, and I swallow down a couple of the pills. Almost immediately, the ache in my head begins to dull, and I hand the glass back to her with a grateful smile. I'd like to do some scans over the next couple of days. They will take a little while, but it'll give me a clearer view of what's going on in that head of yours. I nod, and she gives me a gentle smile, placing a comforting hand on my arm. I can't imagine what you must have gone through right now. And then her face falls, and the glimmer of her skin fades, betraying her true emotions. I'm sorry for your family, Boo. I truly am. I say nothing but give a grateful smile in reply, trying my best not to think about it all too much. I know what it's like to live with a difficult family, and I've seen my share of tragedy. After talking it over with Cauldron, I don't feel I can take any more talk about my family, so I steer the conversation in a new direction instead. When you left your home, was it a difficult decision to make? Rhinus gives me a sidelong glance, as though she sees what I'm doing. Thankfully, she runs with it. The toughest, but I knew I had to do something more than when I joined the Archangels, and I traveled the system with them, helping those in need. What happened to them? With a sigh, she brings her chair over to a face where I sit and droop down into with no small amount of grace. I'll tell you if you want to hear it, but it's not a pretty story. I keep being worried that somebody's gonna come into my room. I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear the story, as long as you're willing to tell it. She doesn't speak for a moment, gathering her thoughts before her story begins. Before she speaks, her skin flickers, torn between conflicting emotions. When I left Talarian, it was with a friend. His sister was an archangel, and he was going off to join her, so I tagged along. The work we did was, well, it was amazing at first. Her face drops, and I know the worst is yet to come. We were here on Tenarium, and a group of Talarian certainly draws attention, but we didn't think we were too focused on trying to get our name out there, on trying to help people. You may know of the Makari Zovek followers. They're a brutal, bloody clan. They do what they want when they want to. One day, we were walking on the street when 24, maybe more, surrounded us. 24 against the 10 of us. Oh no. They rounded us up. They pushed us down a dark alley away from prying eyes. No one dared to stop them. We had helped countless people, and yet no one helped us. They herded us like cattle. They insulted us, beat and belittled us. A couple of archangels tried to escape, and while the Makar were distracted, my girlfriend Molly pushed me into a shell of ruined building. Oh, she had a girlfriend. She saved my life. I was able to hide quickly enough, concealed by the remnants of the building I was in. They couldn't see me, but I saw everything. They didn't bother to count the bodies. They didn't care how many of us there were as long as we were dead. Oh my gosh, no, they just killed. Oh my gosh. I watched them butcher my friends. Every single one of them, and I did nothing. There was nothing you could have done. I reached forward to place a hand on hers, a gesture that I'm here for her, no matter what. Your girlfriend saved you for a reason. If you had tried to do anything, you wouldn't be here today. Maybe it would have been better if I died with them. No! My heart clenches, hating how broken the words sound and how our beautiful skin dulls. Don't say that. You still have people who need you. I tried to keep thoughts of my family at bay, of their final moments, and what I would have seen if I had been there. The memory of Nerissa hits especially hard. Was she frightened? Did she suffer? I can safely say that no matter what happens, my sister would have gone down fighting. She was never one to give up so easily. Rhinus takes in a deep, shuddering breath, her bright eyes shining with unshed tears. Can't remember how long I hid there, terrified to leave in case they came back. She stopped suddenly, a silent memory playing in her mind, one only she has access to. With a sigh, she continues her story, her eyes half closed, as though she might still be back there in that damned alleyway. When I finally stumbled out of there, something inside me was changed. I had this anger. I was sad, yes, but that rage consumed me. Rage and helplessness. I was one person against an entire clan. Eventually, I found refuge in a crowded bar, hoping to disappear among the crowd until I could figure out what to do next. The bar was the Ark. Okay, so that's the name of the bar. What happened next? I saw a familiar face, one who insisted he owed me a debt. Sebastian. Oh, that's actually kind of cute. Though, her story is so sad, but also a little bit cute too. Her face lights up at the memory, and I can only imagine how it must have felt to find a friendly face after such a tragedy. He introduced me to Cauldron. I told the captain my story, and since then I've been a part of the crew. So you joined the crew because you had no other choice? I joined them because they were hunting monsters. Cauldron, after what he had been through, was hell-bent on stopping Zovac and Camilla by any means possible. Suddenly, I wasn't helpless anymore. She fixes me with those unusual yellow eyes, her stare suddenly determined. We failed on Glorious. It won't happen again. Something in Rhino's demeanor scares me a little, though I can't say I blame her for wanting revenge against the group who murdered hers. I thought they were gonna come into my room. Okay. So now you know why I joined the Adroma 6. I'm here to see that Zovac and the Kamari fall. I don't know how yet, but we'll find a way. That's all that matters. I believe it. Do anything you put your mind to, ma'am. I see you're determined, and I know how it feels to want justice, and even revenge. The most important person in my life was murdered, and I wasn't even there to say goodbye. Then you know how it feels, how it carves out a piece of your humanity and your faith. Our eyes meet, and something in me feels connected by the tragedies we both had to endure. I'm starting to feel it more than I ever wanted to. But, oh, okay. What will you do now that you know? I shrug and I let out a sigh, knowing I need to face the facts, but not quite being able to bring myself to. Cauldron mentioned a meeting tomorrow to discuss what happens next. I suppose I'll hear what everyone has to say, and I'll decide from there. Brian opens her mouth to say something, but stops before the words come out. What is it? With an with an apology with an apologetic smile, she finally speaks. There are too many people who abuse the power they have, but sometimes doing nothing at all is just as bad. You're the only surviving Pegasi you have, of the biggest claim to the throne if you want it. She doesn't meet my eyes, but I understand what she's trying to say. I hadn't had the chance to think on it much, and I'm not sure how much I want to. There are people who would support you. I'd support you. Crushes her hair. Hold up. I'm glad I can count on you. My chest tightens and I slip my fingers beneath her chin. Hey, yo! Begging her to look at me. Thank you, Ronan. No matter what happens, I'm glad I can count on you. Some of the sadness in her eyes eases, and when she takes my hands together in hers, her gentle warmth seeps into me. Always. It's not something I've thought about yet. To be honest, it's not something I thought about ever. I'm the youngest of the 11 children. This day should never have happened. Whatever you decide, Ovek can't be left to rule. There has to be someone else. There are others who might have a claim as weak as it may be, but none of that matters with Zovak at the head of power. For all I know, he might have murdered them too. Rhinus lets out a heavy breath, and for the first time I notice how tired she looks. All of a sudden I feel incredibly guilty for having kept her up so late. It's late. We both need to get some rest. I'll see you again when you come back for your scans. I'm sure that tomorrow will be a lot. We all need to discuss. She squeezes my hand, and before I stand, my stomach flutters at the gesture. If it were up to me, I'd spend as much time with her as I could, but the thoughts of getting some much needed rest is far too big of a temptation. I stand and straighten myself up, wishing Rhinus a good night before leaving the infirmary, looking forward to finding a moment of peace alone in my room. Oh, this is a new scenery. Ayo. Okay, sorry. Upon entering the room, I fall back into the bed, exhausted and thoroughly ready for a moment alone. A numbness has settled in me from head to toe, and I'm desperately afraid of what might happen when the feeling subsides. I don't want any of it to be true, so instead I tell myself this is a dream, some horrific nightmare made to torment me until I wake up in a panic and realize that none of it is true at all. But deep down, I know it's not a dream. My family, the coop, Narissa, Bex. The one thing I know it is if I hadn't gone looking for Bex, I wouldn't be alive right now. There had only been a handful of times that my family had all been together, weddings, funerals. Sylvac would have had it all planned out. When I think back on my family, on the life was lived together, my feelings are mixed. Mostly I was alone, with only my servants and guards for company. Before Vex came along, I would try to find myself to spend time with my siblings, but the less in common I found we had, the more I stopped trying. The only one who made time for me was Narissa. Even with all her duties, we had a strong bond. I was always Narissa's favorite. My sister should have been queen in place of our negligent father, and we both eagerly awaited her time on the throne. Now my music box, a gift from my eldest sister, is the one thing I have left of her. My father wasn't supposed to be king. I heard stories he had lost his own father and his brothers all in the same day. He was thrust onto the throne too young and inexperienced to know what to do with it, guided by his uncle and the crown council. My grandfather was a great king, or so I've heard, but his brother and son unraveled all he had done in the matter of a few short years and left the system in disarray. My mother was Nicole, the Lunar Queen, and the king's second wife. She was kind and gentle. When I was young, we would have played games in the garden, just the two of us. But as time went on, she grew distant and...
Listen, could you check your Switch if you have, Pokemon Legends EA?
It's not in there, but you can...
Oh, you got Minecraft in there. Then where did CA go?
I don't know. I've been looking for it. Can you close the...
Oh, you have been looking for it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Because it's not in my Switch, and it's not in your Switch. I don't think Tisha has any affiliation.
Yeah.
So where could it be?
But as time went on, she grew distant and detached from the world. Eventually, she stopped speaking completely, spending her days upon days locked away in her rooms until she was all but forgotten. I never forgot her. With the memories of my family playing in my mind, I eventually drifted into a restless sleep. I tumble out of the ballroom with Vex on my heels, his laughter almost as loud as my own, as we draw the attention of nearby guests. We danced for hours and hours, and I couldn't remember the last time I had so much fun, though things were always fun with Vex around. But the ballroom had eventually started to clear out, and we finally agreed to cut a night short, thinking it's best to avoid being seen. Lieutenant Surf, what are you doing away from your post? The captain stops and squints at me while Vex quickly steps between us to shield me from his view. It's too late. But Prince, you're not supposed to be here. Vex looks back at me from over his shoulder, a single word slipping from between his lips. Run. I don't I don't have to be told twice. Turning on my heels, I bolt down the corridor, pushing through the crowd of confused and horrified guests who thankfully thin out as I reach the end of the hall, deciding which way to turn. This way! A hand grabs mine and a bubbling of laughter escapes me as Vex pulls me down the hall to the left, our feet pounding the carpet floor as shouts erupt from behind us. We turn another corner and then one more until Vex stops in front of me with a large tapestry, pulls it aside, and pushes me into a hidden passageway behind it. I lean back against the wall, breathing hard. Vex knows the secrets of this place almost as well as I do, and tonight I couldn't be more glad for it. Vex, I think we lost. Shh. Vex steps before me and clasps my hand over my mouth. Just as the sound of footsteps echo in the hallway on the other side of the passageway, I still at once and satisfied that I won't make a sound. Vex drops his hand and gives me a crooked grin. When I move closer, Vex responds in kind, his body pressing me back against the wall and flooding me with warmth. Boo. My hands slip around his neck, brushing over the scars from his gills, and fingers rest on my waist, keeping me still. Footsteps echo up and down the corner, but I barely hear them, too focused instead on my own unsteady breathing and the way he leans closer, his emerald eyes locked on mine. Are you mine, Prince? His whisper caresses my lips in a warm breath, and I do nothing but nod, fingers threading through his scarlet hair to bring his mouth to mine. I think there is something here. A tap on the tapestry startled us, and Vex grabs my hand and pulls me further down on the quickly darkening passageway. We all but tumble out from behind a statue into another corridor. The quiet of the area a welcome change of pace. I take a moment to catch my breath and look around, making sure we're truly alone before letting out a breath of relief. One day we'll leave this place. I'll take you somewhere where there are no rules or exceptions, where we can just be us. Do you promise? I promise, Boo. Oh yeah, sure, dude. You promise? You promise? With a start, I wake, bolting upright in bed, blinking against the harsh sun shining through the window. A rhythmic knock on my door drags me back to the present, the rush of the memory that had just come to me steadily fading as I get up and to make my way to the door, smoothing down my wrinkled outfit. I'm not sure how long I slept for, but the steady stream of sunlight that filters through the window tells me it was long enough. When I slide onto the door with a hiss, it's to find a certain pilot standing in the doorway, looking much too perky for this early in the morning. Oh, didn't think you'd be awake already. Io smiles wide, beaming at me with an energy that's not fitting of someone who'd barely gotten any sleep last night. I bid you good morning, Prince. 'Tis wouldn't not be do to waste away daylight. I have thus come to make sure thou art ready for the day ahead, giving me a half bow that for her usage of Old English, coupled with the choking sound of strange laughter, simply gives it away how much fun Aya seems to be having at my expense. Oh wow, that was a bad impression, which is also why it's so good at the same time. I'm pretty sure I've been woken up by something akin to to that once or twice in a past life, this time around being a passing gay had been. Never mind. That was horrible, but I love it. Well, of course you do. My a stuck up impression is spot on. Not the words I'd use to describe it, but I don't have it in me to burst her bubble, so I step back and make way for her to join me in my room instead. Barely glancing around, Aya quickly makes her way to the foot of my bed, plopping down on the covers before turning her piercing violet eyes on me. So, how are you? I don't know. Honestly, just thinking about this stuff gives me a headache. Ooh, excuse me. Living in denial doesn't seem like that a bad of an idea right now, so I'll deal with it when I have to. Pressing her lips together, Aya stares at me for a few more seconds before blinking away and shaking her own head. I'm glad she came to check on me and that she bothered asking me how I'm feeling, yet curiosity still nags at me as to her thoughts on me. It is my past. There truly is no other way to put it, and I don't think I can beat around the bush with this one. Does it bother you who I am? Not really, no. I mean, was it a shock when I found out you were actually some big shot noble? Yeah, but by then the damage was already done. Not sure how much of a big shot I am, but what damage? She shrugs, making a face that makes it impossible to say she regrets anything she might have done prior to finding that out. I like you already. It doesn't matter to me who your folks are or anything of the sort. I wouldn't be able to express the relief I feel at words if I tried my best. The idea of the crew pushing me away because of my family terrifies me. They are the only people I have around me right now, and despite the short time we've known each other, I've come to rely on them. Maybe I shouldn't, but it's true. Speaking words. Anyway, I've noticed a slight change in her stance. How she came around to check up on me this early in the day, but I'll take it over being ignored. I give Aya a small smile in return, and she beams right back at me with an intensity that makes me think she wants to squash my worries with the brightest of her smiles. Tapping on the empty bed and space next to me, Aya gestures me to come over. Have I ever told you how I ended up in the army? Am I just getting a backstory for every single person here? I'm just learning about all of their backstories. I'm aware Cauldron and her have served together, but while I can clearly see why the captain would choose to follow a military career, it is quite hard to picture Aya walking up one day and enlisting. Shaking my head, she hesitates a moment before speaking again. Well, it's a long story, so I'm listening. I want to hear it. I lean back against the wall, still sitting on my bed as I ready myself to listen to her story. I was born on oh my gosh, I can read, I promise. Okay. I was born on Klatofi, and it wasn't in its best state by then already, with all the chaos caused by their most recent experiments, but it was home. I'll admit I'm not very well versed on political nuances of how the Klatofians tried to escape the impending doom of our home, but I I know the others were dicks about it. The Telarium all had but kicked us out of their doorsteps, but we were really close, so I don't know what they thought was going on. I wasn't even 10 years old at the time. Hardly anyone talks about that now. Aya pauses, her throat bobbing up and down as she closes her eyes for a moment. I don't interrupt her, respecting her pace at telling me her story. I lost my home, but Glorious is still there. Contafian, on the other hand, King Fairness, though in not trying to be disrespectful, but already being he was fucking son of a bitch. Fair enough. From what I'm hearing from the father, not good things. Not good things. When Aya speaks again, with her eyes burning with anger and frustration, venom in her voice, when she says the king's, my father's name. Do you know what he said when my people ask for shelter? That we could work for it, which is fair only in the mines, the same shithole they threw criminals and whoever else they didn't like in. The same place that led our home to ruin. If it wasn't for that stupid place, they never would have uncovered that stupid substance, and we would have never decided to experiment with it, to try to weaponize it. I get it, okay? We were to blame for our doom. If we hadn't been greedy to the point of wanting to mess with shit like that, we never would have fucked things. Oh my gosh, we've never fucked things up and messed with our planet's core. But it doesn't matter now. Klatafian's gone. This was supposed to be about me. I guess I shouldn't have started calling your father's name. I didn't know him like you did or something. He deserved to die like that. Damn. He had it coming. My father and I were never close. His aides probably saw him more than I did. And seeing what his actions caused other people to suffer, a whole species, innocent people, this crew, makes me sick to think I'm related to that man. He had it coming. You don't really mean that, do you? I don't know. I hate everything I heard about him. I hate that he was an absent father, but can I truly condemn murder? I'm sorry. I don't know. It's okay. We don't need another bloodthirsty member in this crew. Leave that to us, experienced pros. Leave that to us. Thank you, though. I appreciate the feeling. Aya gives me a honest smile, reaching out to squeeze my knee before sitting back up and carrying on with her story. Well, anyway, all the young Tophians were shipped off in the pod for the surrounding planets. Despite a lack of open doors for us, we have always been adaptable. We weren't about to roll over and die. My parents, they stayed behind with all the adults and elders, but they put me in a pond with my little brother, directed it to Glorious, because they thought we'd have a better chance of making it there. You have a brother? It's only after the words left my mouth and her face twitches into a sad frown that I realize how stupid my question was. I'm sorry. Arya shrugs it off, and I don't insist she talk about it when she's... I insist she talks about it when she's ready, and I must respect that. He was little when this happened, so he didn't really understand what had happened when we made it to Glorious, but we were alone in some back alley from Bronze District, and there was no one else to look out for us. I had to take that on myself, taking care of me and my brother, making sure we had food to eat, shelter to sleep. We couldn't just waltz in a foster home, and nobody would even spare us a glance. In the streets, people in bronze are poor, jobs are scarce, and you gotta make do with what you have. I end up doing what most street kids there did, stealing food, clothes, toys, money, books. I tried to get anything I could for my little brother. He was growing, you know? I guess so was I, but I didn't want to lose out on anything. I teach him how to read, write, math. I tried to give him a chance to be someone while depriving myself of all of it. I had no home anymore. He was my home. He was the only thing that kept me going. But maybe I never really thought about how he felt. You see, excuse me. You see, I tried to make him into the perfect boy so he could grow to become the perfect man. I never taught him the ways of the street, despite both of us living on it for years and years. Her voice wavers and my chest tightens. Somehow I get the feeling I know how this story is going to end. Aya continues to speak, her voice lower, her fingers drawing random patterns on my bed covers. He was growing up, and you know boys, they're curious, naive. I didn't see it. He kept it from me, or maybe I was just refused to see it, even when it was right in front of me. Who knows? But he started doing drugs. He made some friends, started hanging out with some other kids, and I might have sheltered him too much. He would try anything they could get their hands on. They were just misguided kids in the end, you know? Oh, no. The kid's gonna overdose. One day I came back to our hideout and he was dead. Yeah, no, I knew it. Ugh. Her expression is a mix of sorrow and rage, and there are truly no words to be said that would matter in this situation. Losing a loved one is horrible. Losing your only family after losing your parents and giving up your own life for his happiness, I don't know what I would have done in her place. I'm scared to know what she did. I was so angry at him, at his friends, at me. I left. I ran. I couldn't stand saying goodbye to all I had left from my family. I couldn't stand admitting it was my own damn fault he was gone. It really wasn't. It was his choice. So I did something stupid, like every other grieving person out there. Broken laugh, a sad smile. I want nothing more than to reach out to her, but something keeps me in place, so all I do is watch. I went after those kids. I didn't know them, nor did I care to. I wanted to blame someone, a life for a life, and I couldn't think of anyone else to blame. I never got the chance to exact my revenge, though one of the kids was the child of a guard member. They were on my ass in seconds, beating me up for raising my filthy Kentuckian hands at his precious drug dealer fucking kid. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Just a bunch of... Oh, crap. Through this whole story is just a bunch of... Oh, no. Oh, crap. Oh, man. Next thing I know, I'm getting thrown in a cell, all bruised and starving. A couple days go by, and I'm already accepting my impending death, you know? It's not something you fear when you grow up in the streets. It's just something inevitable. But instead, this army dude comes along and says that instead of being shipped off to the mines, they're giving us a chance to enlist. I assume they needed some grunt work, or it was some twisted form of charity they did. Regardless, I took the deal. Why would I ever give them the pleasure of shipping an illegal Kentuckian refuge to the stupid mines when I could make them give me food, shelter, and a paycheck? Besides, I didn't really have anything else to do. As if it was predicted, I bounced off the sad aura she had until just a moment ago, moving on like it was nothing. For some reason, I don't trust that easy smile on her face. It worries me, in fact. Just how often does Aya have to act like everything is fine on the surface? Speaking English words. All those years fending for her brother, supporting her own feelings, that's not something that just fades away. It was easy enough. The cadet academy, I wasn't the best in academics, but man, did I kick ass in the piloting classes, or what. Once I graduated, they shipped me off to the Bronze District, and I ended up in dear old Captain's squad. I might have made him suffer a bit with my antics, but I respected the man. He was a decent guy, chose to be in a bronze because he wanted to help others and all that, so I had his back. Even if he most likely ended up losing some life years whenever I got him out with me on a joyride. But isn't that against the law? That's half the fun. It's easy to imagine Captain's reaction whenever he found himself stuck with Aya in a situation like that. It's even easier to imagine Aya's reaction to that. As for me, I'm just glad they're still alive. That's he stuck up, and responsible behavior even rubbed off on me, because when they fucked him over, I was able to control my urge for revenge and managed to help him out. And here we are today. Zovak never did anything to me directly, but I can never forgive him for going for Cauldron, I guess. It's an army thing. I'll stand by my commander for as long as I'm alive. Her face might have... Oh my gosh, jeez, why is it so cold in my room? I'm sorry. Her face might have still had that youthful smile on, but her eyes were dead serious when she talked about how she respected the captain. She didn't even seem to realize she called him commander, but unlike Damien, she didn't seem to use that term to mock him. Anyway, enough about me. I just wanted you to know you're not alone here. We may be just a bunch of weird misfits with an arguable set of morals, but we've got each other's back. Ooh, excuse me. The way she put it, The way she put it, she'd made it seem as if I was a saint amidst sinners, while I might not be a hardened mercenary like them. I've done some wrong things too. Hey, I'm not a saint either. Oh, really? What hideous thing have you done before on your life? I used to sneak out of the palace to roam the streets of Glorious, which I was strictly forbidden from doing. I'll have you know. Aya's smirk trembles on its corner, her eyes narrowing at me as she attempts to keep herself from laughing. I get it. After I'd said the words, I saw just how silly I sounded, but it's too late to cry about it. With a humming noise on the back of her throat, Aya crooks her head at me, and with a near sadistic glint in her eyes, was closer to me in the bed. A true hardened criminal, aren't you? Resting her hands just above my knees, Aya leans in her face a breath away from mine. She bites down on her lip. Oh my gosh, for a second I didn't read her lip for a moment, and for a second I just read she bites down on... I read mine instead of hers, my lip, and I was like, hold up, we not getting that close. We're gonna push back a little here. No, she does it to her own lip. I wonder just how bad you can be, my lord. My hands tingle on my lap. My clothes suddenly too tight for my body. The air around us simply not enough for me to breathe. My skin too hot to be healthy. My brain too loud for me to concentrate on anything but the beautiful, alluring Clintofian practically on top of me. Hey, yo! What do you mean on top of you? Hold up. We ain't doing anything frisky, you know? Before I can even think of making a move, Aya is up and out of the bed, standing by the door with a wicked smile on her face. That had all happened so fast. I am still unsure how to react. I'm just glad to be alive, to have experienced that moment. So glad. Hold up. Boo, why you thinking like this? Hold up. Sorry, Boo. Got some stuff to do at the bridge now. Looking forward to our next one-on-one time, Boo. Dang! Hold up. She flirting. Throwing me a final wink, she leaves my room, her footsteps echoing on the corridor just outside. I feel lighter after talking with her and determined. Stifling a yawn, I get up and head outside as well. After speaking with Aya, I found myself wondering what the rest of the crew thinks about all this. Memories of Bex linger in the back of my mind. I don't know how to feel about it, about him, about how different he was when we met. His warning about leaving the crew bothers me. Was he serious? Should I truly consider it? But where would I go? What would I do? The reminder that I chose to hide his presence from the crew weighs on me, though I'm not entirely sure why. Something told me back then to keep it to myself, a strange feeling deep inside me. I can't be sure that I made the right decision, but it's too late to change it now. My thoughts are interrupted when I turn the corner to find someone leaning against the opposite wall. Someone I'm not sure I want to see, given the last time we spoke. Oh, frick. Ah, go away. Leave. Get out of here. No, I don't want to see you. Ugh. Get out of here, bro. I knew I was right to be Damien is. Go away. Ugh. Look what the cat dragged in. Was starting to wonder where you disappeared to. Damien pushed himself away from the wall and steps towards me, shoving his hands into his pocket of his coat. Get out of here. I don't want to talk to you. Kick him in the balls for real. I'm making no attempt to hide my sigh, bracing myself for what is about to come. I'm sure you were worried sick. Are you here to kidnap me and turn me in all on your own? Sadly, no. Perhaps some other time, if we get the chance. No, I don't think you'll get the chance. You know what? I'm gonna start bringing a knife around with me. You know? So why were you waiting to ambush me? I watched his mark grow wider, and I know that I've hit the mark. He was waiting for me? But why? I was bored. Sure you were. Let me just take my knife and go. To, look, I still have that little tiny. Well, actually, I think Vex stole it from me. I had that little tiny knife I could have just yanked into your chest. His eyes glimmer with interest, and I know his excuse can be further from the truth. After last night, I'm not in the mood to be his entertainment. I'm already going through enough without having to worry about looking over my shoulder every 5 seconds. I know that Damien would be willing to give me up in return for a clean slate regardless. It's not like my last name has changed anything, but I don't appreciate being made to feel unsafe on this ship. But when I'm already when I already have a million other things to worry about. So are you going to say something, or are we going to stand here all day just looking at each other? I don't have anything to say to you. Damien laughs at that, a small humorous sound that grates on my already fried nerves. Get out of here. I don't want to see you. No matter, your eyes say more than your mouth ever could. Yeah, it says I want you dead. You're thinking about how good it would feel to rip me apart limb from limb right now, aren't you? Exactly. You're finally getting the point, so fuck off. I wouldn't risk blood on the floor. I wouldn't risk messing up the ship's clean floor with your blood. The ship deserves so much better than your blood. Better to get rid of you cleanly. I'm sure a little poison will get the job done well enough. Damien snorts at that, and to my satisfaction, he looks a little taken aback by the snark in my voice. Getting blood out of fabric is difficult, I wouldn't lie. Better to burn everything instead. Yeah, how about we burn your body? I remember him claiming how he took care of things last night, how returning to the ship stained with blood. My mind cuts to the image of Vex turning away from me, the idea that it could have been him facing Damien's wrath, bringing ice to my veins. The way he talks about blood and killing so casually makes me wonder what kind of life he's lived. Today his hands are pristine. Oh my gosh. His hands are pristine, skin unblemished, but I have no doubt that his soul is drenched of the blood of a countless victims. I'm not gonna talk to you. I don't need to talk to you. Talking to you gives you attention, and I don't want to give you attention, because if I give you attention, you're going to keep talking to me, and I don't want you to talk to me. I want you gone. I don't know what to say to him. Flashes of last night still fresh in my mind. Does it bother you so much? What? His question catches me off guard, and my eyebrows dip in confusion. Death is something natural for everyone. You can't escape it. I don't understand how anyone could be so casual about it. Damien doesn't speak again right away, but something in his eyes turn cold as he sizes me up. I know that to him my thoughts mostly sound silly or naive, even. He was born and raised on Crosa after all, and I have a rough idea of how things work there. Huh, you're really serious about that, aren't you? Well, I'll just grab your balls, squeeze, and twist. Bet that'd be painful. Anyway. He relaxes his shoulders, pulling his lower lip between his teeth before he lets out a sigh. Imagine not having parents. Imagine not having a family. Imagine, No, I can't say that. In this story, my family's dead too. Hold up. Imagine having mommy and daddy issues. Imagine having to survive on the streets. That's crazy. Imagine being a pauper. Imagine being poor. Dang, imagine. That's crazy. You poor? Pfft, you little poor boy. You little pauper. Get out of here, poor boy. I don't want to talk to you, poor boy. Anyway, you'd think anything was normal if you've been around it all your life. Oh, what? So tragic, so sad. Baby. Little poop butt. What, you think I'm gonna feel bad for you? I ain't feeling bad for nothing. No sympathy for you. None. None. No sympathy. All you've ever done is make the entire crew feel uncomfortable. You make me feel uncomfortable. Get out of here. Get out of here. My parents were killed when I was, I don't know, 10 years old or something. Oh, what? Oh, poor baby. Then, oh, but I'm meant to feel guilty. I'm meant to feel bad. Well, I don't. I really don't. I hope they died in a fire. I hope they died in the most excruciating way possible. I hope it made you cry. They owed a lot of money to this gang, and well, they obviously collected, though I can safely say not in the way my parents expected. Okay, that's kind of stupid though. They owed money to the gang and so they killed them. Like, you're not gonna get your money back then. Okay, you know what you could have done? You could have killed one of them as a threat and then had the other person pay. You know? But, like, that is so stupid. Like, you don't get your money if you kill the people. Oh no, let me. You don't get the money if you kill them. You make them pay, of course, sure. Make them suffer for it, but like you're not gonna kill them. If you kill them, then then you won't get the money back. Then you're still out of pocket. And that's just stupid. If you want your money back, get them to give the money back, you know? Make them pay, make them fear for their lives, like threaten them, put them on the edge of death, but don't actually kill them. If you kill them, you're not gonna get your money. It just seems stupid. Just stupid. That's just stupid, bro. Anyway, I'm sorry. Though I bet your parents did owe them a lot of money, because if they raised you, probably weren't good enough parents anyway. Sorry, I'm sorry. No, he was only 10. He was only 10 years old. He had to survive on his own, blah, blah, blah. You know, I like how Jayla had a similar story. It's like, oh yeah, my parents died when I was little. It's like, okay, yeah, my parents died when I was little, and then my brother died from overdosing on drugs, doing stupid actions, and then I had to join the military. You know, like it's a story that is a lot like Damien's, but it's not exactly. But it's like a story that's really familiar, and then like I'm over here like, oh, it's super shocking and kind of stupid from some parts, but it's super. I feel so bad for you. And then once Damien says it, I'm like, man, kind of deserved it. I hope they suffered. I hope you watched them writhing in pain and agony. I hope you watched them bleed out and die. I need to get my morals in check. Like, okay, but like, if you wasn't an asshole to me, maybe I would have more sympathy. Maybe if you were kind to me, I would have more sympathy for you, but you're not. So you literally try to sell me off. So I don't really care. I don't care. I was better off without them anyway. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that. You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say you're a little poor cry boy. Little pity party. Oh, but you want me to throw you a pity party? You want me to cry for you? You want me to get you a little cake for you to blow with those candles? What, you want a cookie? You get none. You get none of that. No sympathy. None. I hope they suffered. Parents are supposed to be caring and nurturing, right? Well, not them. I knew it! I knew it! I knew if they raised you, probably weren't good parents anyway. I hope they arrived in pain. You know what? That makes me feel a little less guilty for making fun of his parents' death. I was raising myself before they were dead in the ground. They didn't bother me. I didn't bother them. It was a fair exchange. Exactly. So I don't know why you pissing about it. Why you telling me? I don't need to know. What I want to do is get to the captain and make actual smart decisions. I know that's new for you, but I gotta go. I don't want to be around you, bro. And besides, I turned out pretty damn decent if you ask me. Well, I'm not. Did I ask you? Did I? Who's the askers? Yes, I'm still streaming. I was pretty sure the chat. Look. Yeah, no, I'm still streaming. No, I'm just over here roasting Damien. But Damien, you were 10. That's not normal. I wouldn't say that. I would say I hope they died in pain. Look, I'm overriding this. I did not say that. You do not get my sympathy. You do not get my sympathy, bro. I hope you cried. Me to jail. me to Jayla's backstory. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Me to Cauldron's story. Dang, okay, I guess that makes sense. Me to Raya's story. Oh my gosh, that's so tragic how they watch him massacre everyone. Me to Damien's story. Sucker, poor boy, Popper. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't deserve the best. He was trying to sell. He literally came up to me and was like, "Yo, how about we just turn them in?" Nah, you don't get the sympathy. You don't get my. No, you don't. You don't get my sympathy. You're not. Look, it's like it turned out pretty decent. If you ask me, nah, I'm not asking you, sir. I think it turned out pretty bad. And I don't care. I don't care about you, Damien. Get out of my face. I don't need your backstory. I never asked for your backstory. In fact, I keep trying to not talk to you. Why are you talking to me? He rolled his eyes at me, waving a hand or he would push away my doubts with it, as if he would push away my doubts with it. I want that. Look, for real. Like, I was like over here upset, and then I saw Damien, and I was like, oh, ew, I don't want to talk to you. And then he's like, oh yeah, let me just give you my whole tragic backstory. I'm like, what? You think I'm gonna cry? Boo-hoo, pity. What? Want me to throw you a pity party? Want me to give you a cookie? Nah, get out of my face. I had this friend a year older than me. She taught me how to pickpocket, how to hold a knife the right way, how to read people. All about how to survive Cruza, basically. Hashtag trauma dump. I don't want the trauma dump. I don't care how he makes his choices. He's still making bad decisions. I didn't hear a sorry. I didn't hear a sorry from him, so I do not care. We were just about We were just a couple of poor, skinny kids on the streets. My parents being killed was nothing different than what happened to her or to any other kid out there. Oh, she probably died too. I hope she did. I hope the one person you actually cared about died and perished. Death didn't didn't make you special. It was part of our lives from the beginning. It was how you handled it that mattered. I started doing some jobs, making a name for myself on the streets until I finally joined one of the gangs in Cruza and ditched the shithole, earning myself a pretty little scar. What? Okay, so your parents was dumbly, as I say, dumbly killed by a gang because they owed money to them, which is stupid. How are you gonna get the money if they're dead? Like, that is so stupid. That is so. Anyway. Like, you gotta. If you're gonna be in a gang, do gang stuff in a smart way, okay? Torture them. Put them on the edge of death. Don't actually kill them. If you kill them, you're not gonna get your money. That is such a stupid. They're just so stupid. No, you know what? No wonder you joined a gang yourself, because they're stupid. You're stupid. It's a match made in heaven. I'm sorry. Man, no, actually, you know what? It makes sense. Two dummies coming together. Two idiots. Absolute dummies. Anyway. I started doing some jobs, making a name for myself on the streets until I finally. Okay. Damien taps on the scar on his eyebrow twice, then raises an eyebrow at me as though he can already hear the question ticking away in my head. Actually, I have no questions. I'm glad. I'm glad you got that scar. It's a permanent reminder of how stupid you are. It's a permanent reminder of how dumb. You know what? That scar is the only thing that is making you look nice right now. Because right now, you ugly. You ugly. On the inside, I mean, not on the outside. You have a question? Okay, what's the question? What's the question? He's reading my expression. I have the question. He's reading. He's looking past me into my. You know what? Yeah, he's attractive on the outside, not on the inside. Now, the only reason he's attractive is because of someone else's work. Of course, the person. See, I give credit to someone else for his attractiveness. The only, like, he is not an attractive otherwise. Of course, the only thing he doesn't have control over makes him good looking. Everything that he has control over. I'm sorry for being mean. You know what? You know what would be funny? If like the chat is actually just the voices in my head. Like, I just woke up and I just woke up crazy and I just have voices in my head, and like so instead of whenever he's like, I see through you, I know you're asking the questions, he's not just he is seeing through me, but instead of seeing me, he's seeing the voices in my head. No, you're not my conscience. You're just the random, like, figment of my imagination. I actually, I'm a little schizo, actually. You know what? You guys are my schizophrenia. My little ghosties. And growing up as an orphan isn't something any kid it should have to just get used to, and I can't even begin to imagine what it must have been like growing up in such a reality. No family, no safety, no schools, no kids on cruise, even have enough to eat. Isn't there anyone to help them? And their guards and councils responsible for handling security. You know what? You know what? You know what? I am thinking this. I am thinking this for everyone but you, Damien. I hope there is safety for all these kids out there that isn't you. David. There are so many things I want to ask him. So much I want to know. Actually, I don't want to know any of this. There's so many things I don't want to say. There's so many so many questions I don't want answered. And you are one of them. You were just a child. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say you're just a child. I said, I hope that child suffered. I hope you cried when you saw your parents died. I hope you. Okay, okay. Um, I hope, I hope that, I hope that gang gave you a beating, and I hope you suffered and were tormented and tortured till you can't even think properly. Each child maybe, but I had to learn to grow up fast. Are you grown? I don't think you're grown. I don't think you're. I bro said a child maybe, but I had to grow up fast. Nah, you you're not grown up. You still a boy. You still a child. You ain't no man, bro. Bro, you're not grown. You're not grown. Don't fool yourself. Don't lie to yourself. You're not grown. You're not a grown man. when when I say my parents were killed, I don't mean I came home and found their bodies resting perfectly in our living room. Nah, I hope you watched them die. I hope you were I hope you woke up one day, came down and watched your parents get beat to death in the most gruesome, torturous way possible. Each shiver runs through me, dread flooding my veins in anticipation for his next word. No, no, I'm actually. No dread. I'm actually happy. You know what? Excitement. Excitement fills me. A, a shiver runs through me. Excitement flooding my veins in anticipation for his next words. Replace dread with excitement. Um, they got the words wrong. I mean, I was there, and I should have died as well. Collateral damage and all. Then how are you still here? Damien laughs, but the sound is cold and bitter. How do you think? I don't want to even consider the possibility. I don't want to make it real by saying the words out loud, but I do it anyway. You killed him. What did you expect me to do? Lie down and die? I hoped you did. I hoped you just lied down and died, but you didn't. So I guess we're here. I guess you're alive. you know, sometimes God puts challenges in front of us, and you're one of them. You're one of the trials. I, I swallow around the lump in my throat, horrified by this admission. A child should never have to be faced with the choice or lack thereof choice in that situation. I wish that man killed you. Bro. It doesn't justify Damien being an asshole 99% of the time, but at least it explains a few things. You gotta do what you gotta do, and sometimes that makes killing a guy or two. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. I hoped you just lied down there and died. I'm sorry. Bro, I'm sorry. I'm being mean. I'm being an asshole. I'm the toxic one. I'm the red flag. But either way, you I suppose you're right. And one of those people being you. You know what? You are right. Sometimes you do need to kill someone, and that person being you. I have to admit to myself that it makes sense. It's human nature to protect ourselves, to fight for our own survival. I guess that makes sense in a way. You did what you had to do to survive, and I will do what I have to do by stabbing you in the balls. Make sure your bloodline doesn't continue, you know? Yeah, exactly. Gotta say, I'm surprised that you're taking this so well, because my reasoning is to use your reasoning against you, and that reasoning being I kill you. So keep one eye open tonight. Don't mistake my reaction for acceptance. Nothing about your situation is normal. Look, I'm not saying that it is, but the world ain't a fancy ride for all of us. Sometimes you've got to give up a piece of that humanity just to see the next sunrise. Look, we gotta stop the bloodline. We have to stop the bloodline. I don't want to see a little Damien. I don't want to see another one. We stared at each other for a good few moments, the whirring of the ship's engine, the only sound to cut through the silence. It's the only sound. It's a lot odd to process, and despite my response, I'm so conflicted about it. It's hard to believe nobody cares about the reality of the people in Chris and Tenarium. Had it truly been my family who made it acceptable to ignore this kind of suffering? Had it been my father? That makes sense. My father would do that. No, you don't. You don't want to see a little Damien. He would probably kill you. He would probably kill you. You know what? I'm just gonna. How about I just walk away? You know what? I wanted to like I. You know what? Honestly, actually, you know what? I would let Damien go on his little trauma rant about all of his like trauma dumping. Tell me his lore, and then my response would be like, I'm glad you suffered, and then walk away. I need to ask you a question, alright? But you only get one. Do you hate the pagans for what my father did? Why? You want to know what I think about Zovek offering them? Yes. I force myself not to wince at his lack of subtlety, but I can't really fool myself into being surprised by Damien's bluntness anymore. Honestly, I couldn't care less if I tried. Your dad was a dick. Welcome to the club. I'm sure even you can't deny that. I know he was a battle leader, and you're right. we were never really close. But do you think he truly deserved to die? Did my whole family deserve it? Don't we all? I wonder. Yeah, you do. Look, I was saying you weren't hearing me, but before I was saying Pegasi, earlier I was saying pagans. Sometimes I would saying like, I, I would change the character's last name over and over again. It gets a new pronunciation every single time. Um, don't we all, I wonder? Yeah, you do deserve to die. You do deserve it. Nobody is waiting for you. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong, Sofak's a dick in his own right too. And I know I worked for the guy. Of course you did. Of course you did. Bro, of course you worked for him. No wonder I hate you. No wonder you're an ass. You were literally on the villain side. Get out of here. Get out of here. I just don't want to have anything personally against him like the others do. I falter at his sudden admission, though it's more how casual he makes working for Sovak sound than by the fact that he did that at all. But he's a monster. He killed my entire family. You don't really think Sovak did the grunt work, do you? He might have given the orders, but I'll bet you his hands are spotless. Of course, he's a stupid asshole. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna get my hands dirty. You do all the work. Anyway, nah, that's what I guess. The man's a strategic genius and a master manipulator. Despite the things he's done, he knows having a certain reputation with the people is important. He's still a murderer, whether he kills with his own hands or not. I agree with you there. Never saw him harm an animal, though, so we all get along well enough. We do all hate Zovek, yeah. I'd have stuck him with my blade if he had ever laid a finger on any of the street cats that hung around the base. Oh, wow. You okay, I see how it is. You be an asshole to everyone, but once it comes to a street cat, suddenly you're like, nah, that's where I draw the line. I see how it is. Hope you die. Anyway, but honestly, same. Really? That's where you draw. You see, even that's where you draw the line. You're damn right it is. I can't stop my eyebrows from raising at him. It both terrifies me and astonishes me how little Damon seems to care about human life. But you put a pet in the mix and he goes feral. What did you do for him anyway? You will love a bro who loves animals. Actually, to be fair, I do love animals too. But like, bro. Actually, you know what? Let me think about it. If it came to a house fire, and then it was either me saving my dog, or a random guy I met on the street, I'll pick the dog. Or even a stranger's dog. I don't care whose dog it is. I would pick the dog. Oh, you know this and that. You know this and that, which clearly means murder and any other sort of criminal activity I can imagine. I can tell you more about it, but you have to promise you'll stop looking at me like I ran over your damn cat. Walk away. I get the choice to walk away, to finally leave, bro. I scoff at him, having no desire to hear anything else he has to say. I don't think so. When I turn to leave, Damien doesn't stop me, and now I know he's gotten the message loud and clear. Finally, I get the choice to just walk away. Yeah, I walked away, bro. Still an ass. I can be like, you know what? I'm sorry for your loss, and still be like, you're an ass though. I haven't heard an apology from him. I don't have any reason that I should try to care for bro right now. No, I'm not going back. We're not going back. Too bad. I already clicked walk away. I head in the opposite direction, trying to find something to do to keep my mind from being engulfed by unwanted thoughts. After a few turns, I find myself standing in front of the doors, leading down onto the docks, and a smile tugs at my lips when I hear a voice I'm familiar with coming from behind it. I keep looking back at the chat, and it's just you being like, ugh, just pain. Bash is always welcome company, and I hope praying to every force in the universe that nothing has changed since last night. When I find the engineer down in the docks, he's giving orders to a couple of strange beings who are working on repairing in the ruined supply room. I wait for him to finish, and when he noticed me hanging around the I listen to everyone else's lore. I don't need his lore. I wait for him finishing when he noticed me hanging around the bottom of the stairs awkwardly. He gestures for me to go over to him. Oppo's junkers, he explains as I approach and wave at the pair who are bickering between themselves in some unknown language as they work. When they whispered the next part, I leaned closer to hear him better. As dumb as a pair of old boots, but they're handy in oh my gosh, in a kinch? A kinch? Is that meant to be like pinch? In a kinch? Okay, sorry. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes, and I find myself wondering what's really going through that head of his. Kinch! What is kinch? Okay, Alexa, what does kinch mean?
Kinch is a Scottish term for a noose or loop in a rope.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, you know what? He's a Scottish person. He's from Scotland, you know? What? Look, I've never heard that word before, okay? It looked wrong. That word should have never been invented, okay? I'm imagining Bash Scottish now. I don't really have a Scottish accent. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes, and I find myself wondering what really going through that head of his. Bash, about last night. I'm gonna try to bring a Scottish accent. Wait, hold up. What do Scottish people sound like? What do Scottish people sound like? Hold up. Scottish accent.
Alright, you're gonna say this sentence with the accent of wherever you're from.
5 bowls of boiling oil.
Fat.
Alright, you're gonna say this.
Speak a little bit more slowly. It's just I don't want to miss even the tiniest detail, and I might have to make some notes. Okay?
Cool. Are you gonna write me out a prescription for my fuck?
Hi, I'm really sorry to interrupt. Do you mind if I take...
What are some things I need to know? Usually, if I do gigs in England, I can see audience members going, oh my god.
Here are some Scottish phrases for your Scottish knowledge and learning, and hopefully one day you can use them when you come to Scotland. First.
So it's kind of no, I can't do it. I can't. We can't. Scottish learning and Scottish learning and prep. No, I can't. I can't. I can't. I tried. Wait, hold up. Look, I know I can't do a Scottish. You know what? We're hold up. We're going on this side tangent. You know what? We're going on this side. You know, okay. Scottish accent. Okay. Why is no audio coming? Oh.
Probably Scottish.
Right, what accent do you think is the most attractive? Whatever you say, I have to do when I ask the next person.
Irish.
What accent do you think?
Here are some Scottish phrases for your Scottish knowledge and learning, and hopefully one day you can use them when you come to Scotland. First is the very common hod your wisht. Hod your wisht means
If you haven't changed your browser in... What are some things I need to...
Think about it. I mean, really listen to a Scottish and then an Indian.
Really listen to the Scottish and then Indian. I haven't watched Carmen Sandiego in a...
This gum can actually get...
So, a shop that's no selling a lot.
But you were raised in New Zealand? Ooh, hold up. This is my family culture now.
Of stuff. Somebody, my pal, said yesterday when I see that shop round the corner, it's on his arse. Right, so I...
See the show around the corner on his ass, right? So, what? Ass, right? So...
like Alaska.
So that, like Alaska... Okay.
So, a shop that's no sell...
What people expect me to...
Scottish accent challenge.
Scottish accent challenge. So they kind of sound like... So they kind of sound like this. I don't think I'm doing it right, but this is the best we're going to get. Bro says like that we're all disappointed, bro. What do you mean? Okay. I think this is the best we're going to get. With the Scottish accent, because I don't think I can actually do one. Really, actually, I was working on my school project. No, actually, we're not doing that right now. We're not doing school project right now. Where's the game? Oh, right. Oh, okay, here we go. We don't have to talk about say if you don't want to. He's Scottish now. Bash is Scottish now. I stopped with his start, not having expected a response that quite so dismissive. No, I want to know that at royally or not, I'm still the same old me. He grins this time. I can tell it's genuine. Relief floods through me at the sight, happy to see that some things haven't changed. I'm glad to hear it, boo. After he said quiche, Bash cleans his hands on an old rag, smearing the fabric with oil before settling it down again. Once this hole is fixed, we'll be able to get it out of here. It should only take a few more hours at the most. He throws a thumb behind him and take a closer look at the progress through the open door to the supply room. Where will we go? Bash crosses his arms over his chest, his nose crinkling as he thinks about it. That's what we still need to decide. We'll need a place to truly lay low, since Tenerium ended up being a bust. Perhaps one of the way stations between planets. There's a few that are run by retired mercs. A good place to get info and pick up jobs. All I know is with Zovak, guys on our trail, the sooner we leave, the better. He hesitates as if there's more he wants to say, but he doesn't somehow. Zovak and the Makar clan, they've really done a number on all of us. I told you when we first met that when you had a story worth telling, I'd tell you about this. He holds out his metal arm, a grim expression on his face, and I take a closer look at the wires and metal plates that complete the piece. It seems you've oh my gosh, it seems you've more than earned it. How about next time? You did give me your word. Well, you did give me your word after all. Bash grins, but the humor fades swiftly when the next word leaves his mouth. Not the popcorn. I used to fight in the arenas here on Tenerium when I was growing up. In the smaller ones, they use real fighters, humans mostly, a few kits and acres here and there. The higher tiered arenas are where the rich spend all their money building matcha to fight to their death. There are a sight to behold, surely, but the others, well, they're a means to an end. I was good at fighting, really good. I spent every waking moment training to be used oh my gosh. I spent every waking moment training myself to be better. Addicted to the blood, sweat, and flame of the arenas. I made a name for myself. I was unbeatable until the day I got beat down so badly I never recovered. The Culinarium, I'm sure you've heard about all of them by now. I swallowed, my voice rough when I speak next. I do. It seems they're responsible for most of what happened to this crew. Like you wouldn't believe. Picking up a rogue bolt from a stack of nearby crates, Bash balances it between his fingers before crushing it in the palm of his bionic hand, his focus fixated completely on that one small action. Look, I had to read through the words before I go back. They got wind of my talent, even sat in on a few fights until eventually they tried to recruit me to their clan. I'd heard of them before. I knew the kinds of things they did to win their battles, and I wanted nothing to do with it. But it seemed in their eyes, I had two options: join them or be put down as a threat. Bash shakes his head and blows out a heavy breath, his eyes glistening with memories long past. It was dark, late at night, and I had just come out of a fight. Beat the guy too within an inch of his life. That's what I was like in the arenas, you know? A fucking psychopath. And as cocky as always. I get jumped on my way out of the arena, half a dozen guys on me right in the middle of the streets. Shit, I gave it my all. But they were prepared. Words not wording. No, for real, they're not. I took a dagger to the eye, another to the chest. That one pierced my lungs. They told me afterwards, no wonder it hurt like hell. They crushed the bones in my arm so bad they turned to splinters. It was never going to heal right, so the best thing to do was to get rid of it completely. I still remember what it felt like when they were done with me. I was dying. I wanted to die. I had nothing to live for anyways. My chest tightens. I can only imagine how Bash felt in that moment, and even the mere thought is enough to tear me up inside. And then what happened? An angel saved me, found me beaten to a bloody pulp right in the middle of the street, and refused to let me go. An archangel. All of a sudden, the pieces click into place, and I finally realized who Bash had meant all along. Riona? That's right. Rai and her group patched me up and found a safe place for me to recover. I even asked her on a date when I finally woke up, thought I owed her that much. He chuckled at the memory, and my chest eases at the familiar sound. Her girlfriend wasn't having any of it, though. She sure put me in my place. Luckily, I knew someone who could hook me up with the new gear Scythenic skin, too, to cover the marks those bastards left behind. Honestly, I'm gonna take that place too. You're like, here, let me try again to date you. Nah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna steal your woman, man. Okay, I'm sorry. You're a good man, but I'm gonna steal your woman. Some people keep the scars, a reminder of where they came from, I suppose. But why would I keep the battle scars when I can have this perfection instead? He gestures to himself, and I roll my eyes, earning a chuckle from him. They did a good job. I trail my eyes over his body, noticing the absence of scars and marks saved from the calculus and burns on his remaining hand. So cute. They are super cute, but I'm a Steelers man. A mark of his trade, I'm sure. Well, they did a commendable job. I knew you'd think so. I roll my eyes at him as he laughs, glad to find the easy banter between us hasn't changed a bit. Have you decided what to do next? Now that you know where you're from? You know what? You know who's a good example of a Scottish accent? Hold up. Great example of a Scottish accent. Hold up. Let me try to find it. Oh no, it's an ad. Get out of here. Get out of here. Wait.
Top of the morning to you, ladies. My name is Jacksepticeye, and welcome to a game called My Voice Zoo. You might have seen it going all over the place on TikTok and Instagram and everything. It's a game where...
So if I just suddenly go, top of the morning... No, I can't do it. I'm actually surprisingly enough, I wasn't subscribed to him. I should go subscribe to him. Anyway. From surviving Ajax, y'all gotta officially be Steel My Girl. Mr. Steel Your Girl. I don't know. Ajax on Tamagotchi announcing on the news that he might steal his girl away. I don't know. I can't beat that. I haven't decided. Okay. I'll be staying with the crew for the time being. It's what I say instead, and Bash seems happy to hear it. It doesn't take long, however, for his face to fall. I know you never asked for my opinion, but I want to give it to you anyway. I've never had any love for our leaders. Oh my gosh, wait, hold up. I gotta do a I gotta figure out how did we do the
Fools. Tease.
I'm training myself.
Heed.
Usually, if I do gigs in England, I can see audience members going,
Do you ever get to use your Scottish accent?
No, I very rarely. I very rarely get to use it, and it's.
Alright, darling, I thought I'd better give you a bit more of an in-depth answer because I know a lot.
I'll give you a bit of more in-depth answer. This is how I practice accents. I'll give you a little bit. I just watch a bunch of YouTube videos. All right. I've been reevaluated my Scottish. We can do this. We can go back. I've never really had any love for our leaders. I've seen the roaches who could run the planets, even the system better than the clowns who've already had a crack at it. No offense, none taken. I never had a voice. I never had anything but you. You have a voice if you wanted it. You could make decisions that mattered and change everything. It's a noble idea. Oh my gosh, I was about to go. It's a noble idea that I could be the one to have such an impact on the world, but an idea nonetheless. But at the same time, I could understand if you don't want to. I mean, what has the world ever done for you, huh? It is my favorite quote too. Honestly, the world leaders that I make in my stories, that quote is kind of valid for them too. Oh, I forgot to read that. But at the same time, I could understand if you didn't want to. I mean, what has the world ever done for you, huh? Ever done for you, huh? It'd be easy enough to disappear, to start a new life somewhere with someone new. Bash hangs his head in defeat, as though he wishes he never spoke at all. When it comes down to it, I tell you what I do because I don't know, but it's not my choice to make. I can't tell you. Oh, he was saying, I can't tell you what I do because I don't know, but it's not my choice to make. You do have a voice. I hear you loud and clear. Your voice means something to me. His face softens immediately, and when he reaches for my hand, I let him pull me in closer. Hold up! Hold up! His mom, maybe his dad, Maxwell's mom. Oh, mom. His face softens immediately, and when he reaches for my hand, I let him pull me in closer. You know, Prince, you're unlike anyone I've ever met before. Hold up, you're not allowed to flirt like me. You're not allowed to be the one in control here, buddy. Actually, look, I just wanted to say that to comfort you. I didn't mean for you to flirt. My stomach tightens the way he... So far... It's very effective. So far, all of the best answers to give to people are the flirty ones. Are my natural answers just naturally flirty? Oh my gosh, that's how I be risen up, people. I just give them a normal answer. They think I'm flirting with them. My stomach tightens the way he's looking at me. A chill straight down to my toes. I hope that's a good thing. It is a very good thing. My breath sticks to my throat, and I have to pull back before I get lost in his smile completely. He lets me go reluctantly, and the ghost of a smile is still tugging at his lips. You know what? Maybe that's what maybe that's what Ben's doing in the academy story. He was speaking normally, and the two people are like, ooh. It was uber infected. He lets me go reluctantly, the ghost of a smile still tugging at his lips. Taking a couple of steps back, I give him a smile, feeling better than I have all day. I should let you go back to your work. Like you said, the sooner you can leave, the better. That's right, the sooner I can get the captain off my back, which is always a bonus. With a knowing smile, I head back towards the stairs to head up to the main level. Bro, chat. The rest of the chat does not know what we talking about. My mind is still racing when I leave the docks. Despite Bash being so refreshingly himself about everything, there have been others who aren't so thrilled by my situation. It erases thousands of red flags in my mind. The crews all have varying opinions on the matter, and while it's important for me to hear them all, they haven't all been what I've expected. And there's still one person I haven't had the chance to speak to, though the feeling that he's intentionally avoiding me grows stronger with each minute that passes. June. I can't stop myself from wondering what could possibly going through his mind, and I need to find out for sure. I don't think I'll be able to get a moment's rest if I don't. What do you mean I gotta be careful with June? That's it. No, June was really trying to human traffic me. He was trying to kidnap me this entire time. I was right from the very beginning. He knew, and he was trying to sell me off, and it didn't work out, and... I'm just creating a whole lore. Transpiring through the corridors, I finally arrive outside what I believe to be his room and knock a few times at the metal door. The echoing sound of heavy footsteps on the other side pulls me out of my reverie. Alexa, how do you pronounce a word that is spelled Reverie?
Reverie is pronounced
Reverie.
Reverie.
Reverie. There we go. Reverie. And when the door slides open, June pauses, his hesitation made clear at the sight of me. Alexa, what does reverie mean?
Reverie means a state of dreamy meditation or fanciful musing. It's like being lost in pleasant, thoughtful daydreams.
Oh, okay. We learning stuff. We learning things. So he's like daydreaming. From the way he looks at me, I half expect him to turn away and close the door, but instead he lets out a few mumbled words. Oh, you're here. I was looking for you. He doesn't reply straight away, instead schooling his expression into one that doesn't suit the warm, kind man who saved me in the midst of tragedy in the least. Oh. School with Boo. We learn it together, okay? I am your teacher. Probably not the best teacher, but I will be your teacher. A chill runs down my arms, and I hold them against myself protectively, almost afraid to even meet his eyes. June says nothing, does nothing, except look at me with a mild distance. I can see now that I certainly haven't prepared myself for this in the least. Actually, I can go, sir. I actually wasn't looking for you. I made a mistake. I meant Nif. Oh wait, no, he's not in this world. I meant Rye. I was looking for Rye. Today we are learning how to, figure out this social situation about a dude who clearly doesn't want to talk to us, but for some sort of reason, I'm still talking to him. And it wouldn't matter to him who I am. Nothing has changed just because I'm a Pegasai, or that Zovak killed my entire family. And me, for the matter, and my hands shake as once again I feel myself drifting down a wormhole I have absolutely no intention of exploring right now, or ever for that matter. Look, we're going into awkward mode. Actually, I don't need to talk to you. Can we just talk? I can't do it. I can't bring myself to say anything to him. June also doesn't speak, standing there in front of me with an unreadable storm in his eyes. If you have nothing to say, it's best that you leave. It's been a long day, so please excuse me. Look, it's not that I don't want to talk to him. He's a sweet dude. But it's that I don't know how to like read, because clearly he's upset, and I don't want to make him more upset, and so I'm just look, it's not that I don't want to talk to him. It's that I also am very awkward and am not socially inept, okay? I am socially inept, actually. I mean, I'm just gonna stay. This is also how Aquarius is gonna be fixing issues. They're just gonna stand and just stare at them, not knowing exactly what to say, and just like be like, Anyway, how's your day? How's your day, bro? The sun is shining bright, you know, right? You have nothing to say. It's best that you leave. Yeah, okay. Prince. Oh my gosh, the way he added Prince. Hold up, you got some issues. My breath catches my throat, and for a moment, a word is all I can hear, echoing in my head over and over, like a beat of a pounding drum. Prince. My eyes sting when he pulls away, and the air that settles on my skin is as cold as ice. He barely even looked at me. He didn't even try. I blink dumbly at the hand that reached out to close the door, and I can't let him go like this. If he won't try, then I will. I can't choose my family or my title, and those things certainly don't change who I am. June, wait. My hands shoot to the door frame before he can shut me out, and his brows raise in surprise. I'm not gonna confront him. While he's upset. I'm gonna try to reason with him. I don't know what's going on with you, but you can't blame me for the actions of my father. I'm not the same as him, June. You have to believe that. His jaw tightens when he sets his eyes on me, cold gray, and they were once so warm. No, why is he mad at me? No! Okay, I've gone. Okay, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I'm going. You know what? That was bad words. Those were bad words. I am sorry, sir. I will go and crawl into my little corner and die. I will just go back into my room and curl up into my bed and just die there. I'm done. My social anxiety can't. Actually, I don't have social anxiety. I just have anxiety, but like my anxiety can't. I can't do that. I need him to understand that I'm still me, that even though I know who I truly am, it changes nothing. I know that. Please, June, talk to me. He was talking. Why did you interrupt him to say okay, I'm sorry. I always get mad when people do that, where I'm like, I'm about to talk to you, and you're like, just tell me how you feel. Girl, I was about to. Stop interrupting, and maybe I might. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting mad at Boo for him. I'm getting mad at me for June. I will bully myself. Let the bro talk, bro. You didn't give him a chance. He's like, look, I just talk to me. Well, if you shut up. If you shut up and listen. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done. He sighs in defeat, his shoulders slumping as the weight of the world is crashing down on him. But when he looks at me next, his eyes flare in the way that almost terrifies me. What really said? No, for real, because it's like, okay, you can talk to me. Bro, shut up! I know you're not to blame, but I never had any affection for the pigs as a whole. The complete disregard King Ferris had for the people of Sullett, the way he was more than willing to overlook anything as long as it was making him a pretty penny. Shut up so I can talk. Look, from learning, when I learn from either just my personal experiences or just experiences with my family, you can't really fully talk to some people without listening, you know? So like, and oh my gosh, I get so angry because there was one time I had this one teacher who was like, hey, you're like seem really upset right now, are you willing to just talk to me? And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it's just, and then they're like, you can just speak to me whenever. I'm like, oh, okay, well, here's what I'm, and he's like, just talk to, bro, shut up. I'm sorry, I get so mad when people are like, please talk to me, and then interrupt me when I'm trying to talk to them. I'm sorry, it's my own personal pet peeve. As somebody who is already so nervous to talk to you about their feelings, if you just speak and talk as I'm trying to talk to you, that pisses me off so much. It pisses me off so much, man. Okay, I'm sorry. The volume of his voice raises with each word, and he takes a moment to rein himself in, to pull back the leash he holds so tightly on himself. And I never saw any member of your goddamn family lift a finger to change it. You don't care. No, for real. Like I will get mad at myself for you. Oh no. What's in keyframes? Are they gonna have more of that? One of these days play keyframes. Here, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Keyframes. Oh, soundtrack. Which one? There's two. Oh, that's the demo. Okay. Yep. Anyway, back to the game. Anyway. It's not. Spring semester in college, bro. What? Oh, I think we're talking about. I'm like, I'm in the spring semester. What are you talking about? It's not true. My sister tried to change things, but was overruled every single time. Though I don't dare raise my voice this out loud. June's hands shake at his side, clenching into fists so tight his knuckles whiten by the second. Before I realize what I'm saying, my mouth is already open, my voice a hiss so low that I'm not even sure he can hear. Are you glad they're dead then? Damn. That is a blow. That is a choice of words to say. Oh. I heard his footsteps and I was gonna open the door for him. Oh. Hi, broccoli. Spin. Lay. Up. High five. Fist bump. Handshake. Give me a handshake. Spin. Lay down. Good boy. Okay, sorry. He falters at my question, and already I have my answer. His silence speaks louder than his words ever could. A wave of nausea hits me, knowing if I were truly among the dead, he would never have batted an eyelid. He would never have known who I was, that my dreams were, or that one day in another life I might have called him my friend. He wouldn't have known any of it. I back away slowly, crushed by this knowledge, and only when he shoots out to grab my arm and stop me that I blink the tears away from my eyes and I dare to look at him. Stop, Boo, I didn't say a thing. You didn't have to. I pull my arm back from him and guilt flashes over his face, but only for a moment before that stony mask is set back in place. Look, some of these actions are not one I would have chosen. I don't know the answer to your question. Violence is never the answer, and Zovac is certainly not a better choice for a ruler, but he stops, takes in a deep breath, and fixes me with a hard stare. I can't say I'm sad that Firen is gone. Dang! Imagine saying that to their son. That is some choice words, June. Like, I don't blame you. He was a bad man, honestly. But, like, saying that in front of the son, not the words I would have chosen. I can understand, sympathize with you, but not something I would have said. I swallow around the lump in my throat, steeling myself against the blunt edges of his words. Everyone choosing words today. I know my father wasn't fit to rule. I'm not an idiot. I ventured into the city enough times to know what the people thought. I didn't say, but to be happy he's dead. I let my voice echo off the metal walls, not caring for a single moment that my anger is getting the best of me. Oh my god. Barkley, no, you've been banished. You've been banished. You not allowed to leave this room. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't you dare. No. Reconsider your thoughts. Think clearly to yourself. Anyway, I let my voice. How can we decide if someone deserves to live or die? June scoffs, a dark, deliberate sound. Sound, and the gesture catches me completely off guard. I know you do it, bro. I know you do it. Stop. Get some help. You think I care about Glottis? The dark growl of his voice rumbles through me, and it takes all I have not to let myself be unnerved by his raw fury I see behind his eyes. You know what? I think we are both I think we both are at high temperatures of anger right now, and I think we need to take a step back and I think we need to take a step back and just go into our own rooms, take a deep breath, and then reconvene at a later date, okay? Glodius was a paradise compared to what I had. I would have given anything to have lived even in the Bronze District, no matter how terrible Cal makes it out to be. I don't know how much Damien has told you of his home or what you've heard, because nobody ever talks about Cursa. Just talk. Look, you were saying some choice word. Like, look, you came in starting this argument. I came in trying to reason. I don't know what kind of thing, I don't know what kind of beef you have with my family, but you don't have that beef with me. So I don't know why you getting mad at me. I am not the same person as my father. That's all I have to say, you know? His nostrils flare wide, anger rolling off of his waves to make my mouth go dry. You know why? Because it was abandoned. The Council of Iron gave up on it because the Crown Council and the King deemed it worthless. They left it to be torn apart by the gangs, and they couldn't care less. You've seen Tenarium heading down the same road. Pentofius is gone, and Oron, his voice trembles when he mentions Oron, and finally he pauses when his eyes slice to mine. I swear a flash of green strikes through them, but when I look closer, all I see is that unfathomable gray. Everything is wrong with Oron. Everything. Why are you telling me? Okay, I can understand why you're telling me this, but why are you telling me this in this way? Look, I am trying to sympathize with you, but you making it hard when you yelling at me. If you want things done, you gotta talk, not yell. Let's talk about the mines for a second, shall we, Prince? How by royal decree, anyone who falls out of line, doesn't pay their taxes, or just outright looks at some noble the wrong way, gets sent there. And you know what's worse? Nobody survives that place. June, I know you don't get to talk, not until you listen. Okay, you know what? We're not having a conversation. At this point, we are not having a conversation anymore. You are too angry. I can't have a conversation with you while you're this angry. I am going to walk away. Like, this is, like, look. We can't have a conversation if you start interrupting me like this. I'm going to just simply I don't think you're in the wrong. I don't think this is bad. But I'm going to walk away, and until you have calmed down, we are not going to talk, okay? Because right now, nothing is going to get done. I can understand this. There are some grievances in this. I've heard the same grievances from other people. And if anyone else gets power or I get power, I don't care what happens. If any of that matter of fact, like if any of that happens, great. That is perfect. They can go, or I can go and fix it. But that's because they talked about it. At this point, we're not talking, we arguing. And that's not gonna get anything done. So if we want to be productive, I gotta go. You gotta go. And you gotta think about yourself. Reevaluate your life. Reevaluate yourself, okay? I recoil from the blunt of anger, but I do as he says. No, I wouldn't. I ain't doing as you say. That is only rewarding this behavior. I am not rewarding angry behavior. We are going to talk like this like a grown adult. Right now you are a child. Right now you are a child, you are a kid who can't communicate. We are gonna separate for a moment. We're gonna calm down, and then we're gonna talk about this like an adult later on, okay? We will reconvene after this brief recess, because clearly you need some playground time. Countless lives lost just to the minds. This substance, something powerful and dangerous that should never have been messed with in the first place. Then the labs. Do you have any idea of what goes in those labs, the things they do in the name of progress? Okay, look. I don't see why you lecture me like I am the child in this situation. You need to sit your butt down. We gonna have a conversation. We need to have a conversation, not a you just telling me stuff, okay? Okay? I've been down this road too many times. Like I've been down this road too many times where I just sit here and let people just yell at me. Now I will admit sometimes I just need to shut up and listen. But we ain't talking to me like that. We ain't. We're not talking to me like that. If you want to be grown, you gotta act grown. And right now you're not acting grown, okay? You acting like a child. Don't make me associate you with Damien. Damien is already in the lowest ranks right now. Don't put yourself down there. You're already at the second best. Don't put yourself down. Don't put yourself down the ranks here. Like, I don't know nothing about the labs. I don't know what really going on, but you gotta remember, I still have some gaps in my memory gone. I don't know what's going. So we gonna talk like are we gonna talk like an actual adult, or are you just gonna whine and cry to me? Because that's not making this anything better. Do not go into the Damien list, okay? Don't you dare go to the Damien list, alright? You don't want to be down there with Damien. Nah, I'm stopping him. You clearly too mad. Hold up. Listen to me, June. I know you're hurting, and I'm sorry, but I think it was a mistake for me to come here. I stare him down through hard eyes, and eventually he relents, letting out a heavy breath. I'm sorry, Boo. I know it's not your fault. I know you have nothing to do with that, and I don't support Sovak in listening, but no buts. No, you don't get no buts. You clearly too angry to speak. You don't get no buts. It's hard for me to separate you from pagans I knew. Okay? Okay, I understand that. But you did not get to yell at me like that. Okay? I am a human being, just like you are a human being. You want me to treat you with respect, you gotta treat me with respect. You can't. Okay, I understand I learn more, but like, nah. We ain't disrespecting my character like that. I ain't just gonna just stand back and let him talk to me like that. We're gonna reconvene after a brief recess, okay? June runs a hand over his face, struggling with something deep and dark within himself. The pain that drips from his words is enough to have me paying attention, dreading the worst. It might be best you stay away from me, at least for now. I don't want you to do anything. I don't want to do anything I might regret. See, this is where we can both agree. 'Cause if you go any further, I might have to punch you in the face. Respectfully, I will punch you in the face if you keep yelling at me like that, okay? We're gonna stop talking, not just for you to do something you might regret. I might do something I might regret, okay? 'Cause we not talking to human beings like this. I don't care about your lore if you don't care of treating me with respect. You're gonna get the Damien treatment just for right now. You do have a chance to redeem yourself. Okay? He backs up like a wounded animal forced into a corner. It's obvious he is still hurting from whatever happened to him on Oron, and while I want to know what it is, I can't say that now is the best time to find out. Get closer. Oh. Because I don't want to get closer to him after he blew up like that. He did apologize. I do understand he did apologize. And he did freak out. He did freak out, but he did apologize. And he was like, hey, you might want to go. Unless I do something. Or else I might do something I might regret. So, I might get closer, but, so, like, getting closer might just undo all of that apology, though. Saying I didn't know might give him some solace. That is like, okay, at least I didn't know. It was sort of a blind kind of thing, and then it might comfort him just slightly. Saying I'm sorry for whatever you've been through. That is respectful, and we can just leave it at that. And we can calmly go away. I might get closer. Just because I feel like he might need a comforting force right now. And right now, I'm the only person nearby. I don't think there's anyone else nearby. Sometimes words aren't the only way to let people know how you feel. I step closer, stopping a short distance from June, and lay a hand on his chest. He jerks at my touch, but he doesn't step back. His heartbeat thumps against my hand, his warm body heating up my skin. I haven't even realized how cold my hands were. This feels nice. That's bad grammar right there. Anyway. June feels nice. Okay, so yeah. June feels nice. I was worried I skipped 2 lines. I'm really sorry, boo. It's okay. I am too. Look, man. Look. I just pick what a normal person would pick, okay? I'm just picking the thing that will help the person the most, okay? Our eyes lock. So many emotions going through his that it hits hard for me to make them out, and I just end up lost in the dazzling gray storm that ranges there. I have so many questions. I hope someday June will trust me enough to let me ask them. But for now, I'm happy enough knowing that despite how he feels about my family, he's trying to push. He's trying not to push me away. Hello, fellow mercenaries. Oh, of course. She's gonna think we're doing something. Is this why sometimes you think it's like super adorable and stuff like that, and that you're like blushing when I'm just like, what? I just said something normal, and then you're like, oh my god, you're so cute. Is that why? Aya's voice blasting through the comments snap out of the bubble. I come bearing a message from our dearest captain. She clears her throat exaggeratingly, and June rolls his eyes with a soft look in them. He is definitely used to her wild ways by now. Yeah, no, I thought she was in the room for a second, and then I heard radio, and I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm learning chat important. Get your asses to the bridge now. This is urgent. Oh, and he says pretty please. Over and out. As she turns off the comms, I can hear Cauldron snapping at her in the background, and a smile until my lips at the sound. At least some things never change. We should get going. Don't want to leave those two alone long enough for a fight to break out. Agreed. Sharing a smile, we set off to the bridge in a silence that more awkward than I'd like to admit. Our conversation seems to have had brought unpleasant thoughts to the both of us. See, she does it in a fun way. Damien is just a bully. Siblings. Narissa. Underground now. Too many eyes around, or too dangerous for Oppo to stand out. Oppo's voice is clear and familiar when we enter the bridge, and I look around to find the rest of the crew already gathered around the middle of the bridge. Cauldron and Damien each on one side of what I assume to be Oppo. I'm gonna go use the loop. I'll be back. Berkeley, why you look at me like that? Hold up. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. Can't wait to adopt a tiny child. What do you mean? Oppo's voice is clear and familiar, and we enter the bridge, and I look around to find the rest of the crew. Okay. Oh, it's a digital Oppo. Hello! The crew surrounds Oppo in a hologram form, and June quickly leaves my side to join Ryan and Caldron to the other side of the room. Yeah, it's awkward. It's awkward. No! It's good to hear you're safe, at least. I apologize for our presence here has hindered your operations. Thank you for reaching out. No problem, no problems at all. The Earth crew are good customers and friends. Oppo would never dream to jeopardize our relationship. Still, I took out the group of guards that were on our tail. Have you seen any others? Not yet, no, but commotion. Damien rolls his eyes, giving the Arkans a dry look. That was hardly a fight. He mumbles under his breath and runs a clean cloth over his dagger, throwing Cauldron a grin when the other gives him a glare. It was enough to draw attention. See, Oppo got a tip that they were sending another ship to investigate, so Oppo hid somewhere safe until they leave again. And so should you, yes, especially with your new friend. Cauldron frowns at the remark, but keeps his cool nonetheless. We can't just yet. We need a CD to get away safely, and we need your help to get it. You didn't see earlier, but Vex was so close to kissing us, and I was like, dang. Like, through the second memory kind of thing. Oppo's scared expression shifts slowly into one they had when they tried to buy me or sell prices for an outrageous amount for the crew. Before they or Cauldron have the chance to each say their piece, Damien already has his knife pointed right in the middle of Arkan's eyes, and I'm assuming they can see it because the shook on their face is real despite the hologram. Don't fuck with us, Oppo. You're hidden, but I know very well where you are, and I wouldn't mind taking a detour before we leave. Do I make myself clear? The captain gives a short nod to his second in command, and apparently grateful for the intervention, keeping him from having to waste any more of his time. The Arkans swallow in vain, their forked tongue trembling slightly outside of their mouth, but Oppo ends up nodding in agreement, eventually, to which Damien takes his dagger to continue casually polishing it. The captain could have done that. He's not useful. He is useless. There's no way of getting a CD here in Tenarium now. The next shipment isn't due until the next moon. That's a week from now. We don't have the luxury of being able to wait. No, he's not. He's not useful. He is a useless character. If he was out of the picture, this story would continue. I'm just saying. Yes, I know. I can swear Oppo's eyes were fixated on me as they said that, and I wonder if all along they knew who I truly am. I doubt they did for a second. Luckily for the Avalanche crew, I knew where one is. You need to go there yourself, but the supplier will be expecting you. Now, we're going to end here. Not really because I really want to continue this story. I do truly want to continue the story, but we're gonna end here because my throat is getting tired of talking. We have been doing this for like a while. Yeah, no, look. Well, because like my throat is getting tired of speaking words in English. So yeah. We will continue this later on when my throat isn't tired. Do 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 do. Okay, goodbye everyone.